What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where today I want to talk a little bit about cornerback and something that we could potentially do, right? We've talked plenty on this channel about being comfortable with the cornerback position. Chris Ballard has talked about being comfortable with the cornerback position. When you look at it, Dallas Flowers with the comeback, he expects to be very good. He's been training, putting out plenty of content on his own about him doing different workouts. He looks like he's full go right now. So Dallas Flowers, I expect to be just fine. He's still young, plenty of bounce back left there. Juju Brents, again, another guy. I expect him to stay healthy. I don't expect anybody to get hurt again. These are young guys. I expect them to be able to bounce back and be themselves. Juju Brents, a very physical player with a year under his belt of learning, having some game experience. Juju Brents, I feel good about. But when you're really looking at this situation, we continue to talk about, the possibility of possibly strengthening the secondary. Of course, we've talked plenty about the safeties, getting Quandre Diggs or Justin Simmons, one of those guys, but there's plenty of money there for the Colts. Hey, maybe you can go get somebody. And one of the people we talked about was Stephon Gilmore. And it's not like there's more movement at the current moment with, maybe Stephon Gilmore will come back. Some people just don't want him at all because he decided he wanted to leave, right? Wanted to trade. I personally don't blame him, okay, with the way 2022 went and the way everything happened that season and where he is in his career, he was ready to win. So he wanted to go somewhere where he could win. We kept a good relationship by saying, "Hey, we'll take pretty much nothing, send you somewhere where we think you can win." And of course, Stephon Gilmore had to agree to the destination, and they figured it out. And he went to the Cowboys. So I think, like, I don't blame Stephon Gilmore for that. I don't blame him for wanting out after 2022. But it would be cool if with Anthony Richardson, maybe he sees the potential with Anthony Richardson and everything else that's here, the continuity that he would have in the system and with these players. Hey, maybe Stephon Gilmore would come back. And this comes out because Josina Anderson put on Twitter yesterday that she was on the phone with free agent cornerback Stephon Gilmore pending his decision for free agency. And this was the quote, and sort of a lengthy one, that he had about his current situation. He said, quote, "I'm still focused on playing, but it has to be the right opportunity. I feel like it's the age thing with some of these teams. If I was 28, I would already have been signed by now. At the same time, I know the value I still bring. If you watch the tape, I feel like I've played well the last 2 years and literally almost played every snap last year. So I'm staying patient while watching my son, who's a wide receiver and cornerback, lock people up on the field with his defensive back skills too." So this is, again, something that came up because she hashtag Colts in it, so it comes up on my timeline. But Stephon Gilmore, man, I just think it would be a good addition to the room if you wanted to bring a veteran in. Now, is cornerback a need for the Colts? I don't know if the Colts are sitting here thinking, "Oh, we definitely need to go out and bring a cornerback in." I think their plan, honestly, I think their plan uh, could be maybe they go get a safety. Okay, maybe they go get one of these safeties. I think they could get a safety, right? One of the guys we've talked about, and then just not do anything else because it would be like keeping a little bit back. That's what I think they'll do, is try to keep right around $15 million to be able to spend, or maybe if they make a move at some point, near trade deadline or whatever, then maybe they could have a little wiggle room with their salary cap and be able to make something work. That's my thought on this whole situation. Opening up a bunch of cap space. I think they want to have the availability of money so that they can have the freedom to be able to make moves if they want to later on. That's something we never see Ballard do, is be able to have enough assets to make those moves really in the middle of the season to make it make sense. But if Anthony Richardson is staying healthy and we're looking really good in the middle of the season, hey, maybe he tries to make a deal in the middle of the season. So he's keeping some money back. Will any of that go to Stephon Gilmore? That's going to be a big question. I just don't know if corner is going to be something we go after, right? I mentioned Dallas Flowers. I mentioned Juju Brents. You can't forget about Jalen Jones. Okay, they're on the outside. I think he's good. I think Mike Abraham could be somebody that's useful for the Colts. And, we'll talk more about him. His role might be a little different than I initially anticipated. So it sounds like he knows what he's going to be doing. But maybe Stephon Gilmore, maybe they want to rock six wide receivers, six cornerbacks every week. Stephon Gilmore at that point would make sense, right? I mean, DJ Baker would make sense because he's been on team continuity. Seems like that's something the Colts will more likely do. But Stephon Gilmore is definitely an option. He's still waiting out there. Who knows what the money he wants is going to be like. But I think if you can get Stephon Gilmore back and he can still play at a high level, that'd be great. I think that's the biggest question. Like he mentioned, the age. He's like 34 years old, going to be 35. So, do you want to sign somebody like that when the decline can just happen overnight, right? Vontae Davis, retired in the middle of the game. Okay. At what point will it just stop happening for Stephon Gilmore? That's probably the risk that every team is thinking about. And, the Colts, maybe it makes sense for the Colts because we're a little deeper now, right? When you think about it, if these guys stay healthy, with as good as these guys have looked, right? Dallas Flowers, Judy Brents, Jalen Jones, with as good as they've looked, as long as they stay on the field, we have pretty good depth at corner, especially compared to most of the league. But bringing Stephon Gilmore in would make that better. It just might cost too much, which I assume is probably the case. Stephon Gilmore, with what he's put on film the last 2 years, it would just make sense for him to cost too much for the Colts, especially if they are looking at trying to get one of these safeties. But I'd like to know your opinion on all this. You let me know down in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime any more of these videos come out. We have plenty of conversation to be had this offseason, and I want your opinion on it. So make sure you get notified for these videos. Of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other and go Colts.